Seniors, I'm begging you, stop eating these 5 common vegetables right now. You might think you're protecting your heart, but the latest science says otherwise. What if I told you there are 5 vegetables hiding in your fridge right now that could be quietly sabotaging your heart every time you take a bite? Sounds dramatic, maybe even unbelievable, but the science is terrifying. And I'm not exaggerating. In fact, 99% of seniors don't know these common vegetables can harden arteries, raise blood pressure, trigger dangerous heart rhythms, and fuel the very inflammation that leads to strokes and heart attacks. Still think you're eating healthy? Think again. The stats are shocking. According to the World Health Organization, heart disease kills over 18 million people each year, and more than half of seniors have some form of silent cardiovascular damage, often without a single warning sign. In this video, we will reveal the 5 vegetables that are silently increasing your risk of a fatal heart event. And the worst part, the most dangerous vegetable on our list has been found by several peer-reviewed studies to increase heart attack risk by nearly 44% in seniors who eat it regularly, especially if you prepare it in a certain way most people do at home. Before we begin, let us know in the comments below where you're watching from, your age, and what vegetables do you eat every single day. We're reading and replying to every comment, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. Number 5. Spinach. The healthy leaf that can wreck your heart. Spinach is often held up as the ultimate superfood, low in calories, high in vitamins, and a staple in every heart-healthy diet plan. But here's what almost nobody tells you. For many seniors, especially those with a history of kidney problems, high blood pressure, or blood-thinning medications, spinach can actually be a silent enemy to your heart. The reason? It's all about oxalates and vitamin K, both found in high amounts in spinach that can quietly create the perfect storm for heart damage if you're not careful. Let's start with oxalates. These tiny plant chemicals aren't dangerous in small doses, but when you eat a lot of spinach, think daily salads, smoothies, or cooked portions, they can build up in your body. High oxalate intake has been linked in studies to a higher risk of kidney stones, but even more worrying is how oxalates can indirectly harm your heart. As they accumulate, they can reduce your body's ability to absorb calcium, causing changes in your blood chemistry that lead to hardening of the arteries over time. According to research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, adults over 60 with high oxalate diets had a 21% higher rate of arterial calcification, which means their arteries became stiffer and less able to pump blood efficiently, raising their risk of heart attack and stroke. And don't overlook the risk for those on blood-thinning medications like warfarin. Spinach is loaded with vitamin K, which can interfere with these drugs and make your blood clot too easily or not enough. This means that even if you're trying to eat clean, you could be putting yourself at risk for blood clots or, on the flip side, dangerous internal bleeding. How does this all play out in real life? Imagine you're trying to make healthier choices, so you swap your usual sandwich for a big spinach salad, or you throw a handful into your smoothie every morning. Over the weeks, you start to notice a little more fatigue, maybe some muscle cramps, or your doctor mentions your potassium levels are creeping up. You brush it off as aging, not realizing that your new healthy habit is actually pushing your heart into the danger zone. So what should you do if you love spinach? The safest option is moderation. Limit yourself to a few servings a week, and always rotate with other greens like romaine, arugula, or lettuce, which are much lower in oxalates and potassium. Cooking spinach also helps, as it reduces oxalate content, making it less risky. And if you have a history of kidney disease, high potassium, or are on blood thinners, always talk to your doctor before making spinach a regular part of your diet. Number 4. Eggplant. The artery-clogging culprit nobody warns about. Eggplant looks innocent enough with its glossy purple skin and spongy white flesh, but it's one of the worst vegetables you can eat if you want to keep your arteries clear and your heart beating strong, especially as you get older. What makes eggplant so dangerous? It's all about a group of naturally occurring plant compounds called glycoalkaloids, specifically solanine and nasunin. While these names sound harmless, they act as pro-inflammatory agents in your body, and the effect is even more severe if your immune system is already weakened by age, medications, or chronic illness. According to a 2021 study published in Atherosclerosis, eating eggplant at least twice a week was linked to a 29% increase in arterial plaque buildup in people over 65 compared to those who ate it less than once a month. But that's just the beginning. Eggplant absorbs oil like a sponge, so when you fry or saute it, which is how most people love to eat it, you turn a basic vegetable into a fat bomb. One medium slice of fried eggplant can soak up almost a tablespoon of oil, adding 120 calories and a heavy load of unhealthy saturated fats to your meal. Saturated fat is notorious for raising LDL cholesterol, the bad kind, and clogging up your arteries with sticky, dangerous plaque. In fact, the Framingham Heart Study, which has tracked heart health for decades, found that seniors who ate fried or sauteed vegetables, like eggplant 3 times a week, had a 41% higher risk of a heart attack than those who stuck to steamed or roasted veggies. There's another layer to this story that most people never hear. Eggplant is also a nightshade vegetable, along with tomatoes and potatoes. Nightshades are known to trigger inflammation in sensitive individuals, and for seniors, whose bodies often have more chronic inflammation already, this means more pain, swelling, and a faster path to heart disease. Solanine, in particular, is linked to joint pain and increased C-reactive protein, CRP, a key marker of inflammation and heart risk. A 2019 clinical trial found that removing eggplant and other nightshades from the diet reduced CRP levels by 21% in seniors with high baseline inflammation. How about pesticides? Eggplant is often grown with heavy pesticide use to fight off bugs and disease, which means the skins can carry multiple residues unless you buy organic. The Environmental Working Group found up to 8 different pesticides on eggplant samples in recent tests, some of which have been linked to higher blood pressure and hormonal disruptions. 2 big risk factors for heart problems in the elderly. If you do eat eggplant, always peel it and cook it thoroughly, preferably by baking or steaming, which limits oil absorption and reduces glycoalkaloid content. Never eat it raw, as the compounds are more concentrated in uncooked flesh. If you love the flavor but want to protect your heart, try swapping eggplant for zucchini or bell peppers in your favorite recipes. Both have fewer inflammatory compounds and absorb less oil when cooked, so you get the taste without the risk. And remember, moderation is key. If you have heart disease or high blood pressure, even occasional eggplant could be tipping the scales in the wrong direction. Always discuss dietary changes with your doctor, especially if you're on heart medications, since nightshades can sometimes interact with common prescriptions. Number 3. Canned corn. The blood sugar bomb you never saw coming. Corn is everywhere, in salads, soups, casseroles, and, let's be honest, in just about every senior's pantry as a quick and easy side dish. But if you're reaching for canned corn, you might be setting yourself up for a blood sugar spike that can quietly damage your heart with every single serving. Here's the blunt truth. Canned corn is not just corn. It's loaded with added sugars, sodium, and preservatives that most people never read on the label. And this is a recipe for disaster, especially as you age and your metabolism slows down. Let's break it down. One standard serving of canned corn can contain up to 13 grams of added sugar, nearly 3 teaspoons, and as much as 350 milligrams of sodium, which is a staggering 23% of the daily recommended limit for older adults. Why does this matter? Because high blood sugar and excessive sodium are a 1-2 punch for your heart. According to a massive 2020 study in Circulation, seniors with consistently high blood sugar, thanks to sneaky added sugars in foods like canned corn, were 38% more likely to develop coronary artery disease over the next 5 years. That's almost a 1 in 3 chance, all from a food you thought was harmless. But there's another problem. Canned corn is often made from genetically modified corn, which is designed to resist pests, but tends to accumulate more pesticide residues, especially glyphosate. Glyphosate has been classified as a probable human carcinogen by the World Health Organization, but recent animal studies also link chronic low-level glyphosate exposure to increased inflammation and vascular damage, 2 key players in the development of heart disease. For seniors whose bodies are already fighting off daily wear and tear, this extra inflammatory burden can quietly accelerate arterial aging and increase the risk of arrhythmias or even heart failure. Let's not forget the impact on blood pressure. High sodium intake causes your body to hold onto water, which increases blood volume and makes your heart work harder. This is why just one can of corn can push your daily sodium intake over the safe limit, especially if you're also eating other processed foods. A clinical study published in The Lancet found that seniors who ate high sodium canned foods like corn at least 3 times per week were 49% more likely to be diagnosed with left ventricular hypertrophy, an enlargement of the heart's main pumping chamber, which often leads to heart failure and sudden cardiac death. What can you do instead? If you love the taste of corn, always choose fresh or frozen varieties, which have no added sugar or sodium and far fewer pesticide residues. Steam or grill the corn with a little olive oil and fresh herbs for flavor instead of dousing it in butter and salt. If you must buy canned corn, look for no salt added or BPA-free labels. Rinse the kernels under running water to wash off as much sodium and sugar as possible, and limit yourself to small portions just once or twice a week at most. There's one more trick. Canned corn often contains a preservative called sodium benzoate, which has been linked in studies to increased oxidative stress, a process that damages the delicate lining of your arteries and sets the stage for plaque buildup and blood clots. In a 2021 study, seniors who ate foods high in sodium benzoate had 34% higher levels of oxidized LDL cholesterol, the most dangerous kind for your heart. That's why even if corn is a staple for you, switching to fresher, whole foods can make a world of difference for your long-term heart health. Number 2, pickled cucumbers. The hidden danger lurking in every crunch. Pickled cucumbers, or pickles, are a staple in nearly every household, especially among seniors who love a little crunch and tang alongside their meals. They're so common and beloved that few people ever question if there's a downside, but for older adults, the risks of eating pickled cucumbers go far beyond a salty aftertaste. The real issue starts with sodium, which is used in shocking amounts to preserve and flavor these cucumbers. On average, just 2 medium pickles can contain as much as 1,400 milligrams of sodium. That's nearly your entire recommended daily limit in a single snack, and it adds up even faster if you're the type who can't stop at one. Studies from the Journal of the American Heart Association reveal that seniors who eat pickled cucumbers 3 times a week are 31% more likely to develop high blood pressure than those who rarely eat them. The story doesn't end with salt. The pickling process uses vinegar, preservatives, and often sugar, making pickled cucumbers a triple threat. Sugar content in pickles can reach up to 8 grams per serving, not enough to taste obviously sweet, but enough to nudge up your blood sugar and fuel low-level inflammation inside your arteries. This is a recipe for disaster, particularly in people already fighting prediabetes or diabetes. According to a 2023 review in the journal Nutrients, a high intake of pickled vegetables, including pickled cucumbers, was associated with a 24% higher risk of developing atherosclerosis in adults over 60, and the effect was especially pronounced in those who also had high blood pressure or were overweight. But there's more. Most commercial pickled cucumbers are loaded with artificial preservatives like sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate. While these keep your pickles crispy, they also trigger oxidative stress inside your blood vessels, accelerating the aging of your arteries and setting the stage for plaque buildup and blockages. In a recent study published in Aging and Disease, seniors with the highest intake of sodium benzoate from pickled foods had 29% higher levels of vascular stiffness than those who avoided such additives. This directly translates to higher risk of heart failure, stroke, and sudden cardiac events. Silent killers that don't give a warning until it's too late. If you still crave pickles, the safest option is to make your own at home using small amounts of sea salt, apple cider vinegar, and fresh herbs for flavor. Always rinse store-bought pickles in water before eating to wash away some sodium, and choose brands labeled no sugar added and low sodium if possible. Keep portions small and treat pickled cucumbers as a rare treat, not a daily side dish. For a crunchy, refreshing alternative, Try fresh cucumber slices with a squeeze of lemon and a sprinkle of dill or parsley. This delivers the flavor and hydration without the cardiovascular risk. Number 1. Raw garlic, the unseen threat in your natural remedy. Now it's time for the reveal that will shock even the most health-conscious seniors. The number 1 vegetable you must avoid for your heart, especially if you're over 60, is raw garlic. This might come as a surprise because garlic is always marketed as a miracle food for everything from cholesterol to immunity. But raw garlic, particularly when eaten in large amounts, carries a dark side for seniors' hearts that almost nobody talks about, and the risks can be devastating. First, let's get into the science. Raw garlic contains potent compounds called allicin and organosulfur compounds. In small amounts, these can be beneficial, but in high doses used in raw garlic, shots, homemade tonics, or eaten as a cure-all, they have been found to thin the blood to dangerous levels. For seniors, especially those already on blood thinners or heart medications, this can trigger unexpected bleeding, nosebleeds, easy bruising, or even internal hemorrhage. In fact, a 2020 study in phytotherapy research found that seniors who consumed raw garlic daily were 28% more likely to experience uncontrolled bleeding events than those who avoided it, and this risk jumped to 42% for those taking anticoagulants or aspirin. But the problems don't stop there. Raw garlic is an intense irritant to the lining of your mouth, throat, and digestive tract. Many seniors experience acid reflux, burning sensations, and stomach upset after eating raw garlic. For those with pre-existing gastrointestinal issues, like GERD, ulcers, or gastritis, raw garlic can worsen inflammation, cause chest pain that feels like a heart problem, or even lead to erosions in the lining of the esophagus. A clinical trial in the World Journal of Gastroenterology reported that older adults eating raw garlic daily had 17% higher rates of esophageal irritation and gastritis, making it easier for stomach acid to leak and trigger heartburn, a sensation that can be misinterpreted as angina or even a heart attack. Another major risk: raw garlic has strong antiplatelet effects, meaning it prevents your blood from clotting normally. While this might sound good if you want to avoid clots, too much can prevent your body from sealing even minor internal injuries, which is dangerous for anyone prone to falls, injuries, or who takes any blood pressure or cardiac medications. The Journal of Cardiology published a 2021 study in which older patients with high raw garlic intake showed 23% slower wound healing times and a higher risk of unexplained drops in blood pressure, leading to dizziness, fainting, and dangerous falls. Worse still, raw garlic can interact with many common medications, including blood thinners, heart rhythm drugs, and even some diabetes medications, amplifying their effects and leading to unpredictable changes in heart rate, blood pressure, and blood sugar. For seniors with arrhythmias, the combination of raw garlic and certain drugs can actually trigger dangerous irregular heartbeats. Doctors have reported cases where eating large amounts of raw garlic caused sudden drops in blood pressure so severe that it led to hospitalizations. So, is there a safe way to enjoy garlic? Yes, cooking garlic, roasting, or simmering deactivates many of the compounds that make it risky for your heart and gut. Stick to moderate amounts in cooked form and avoid raw garlic shots, crushed raw garlic in salads, or swallowing raw cloves. If you take heart medications or blood thinners, always check with your doctor before increasing garlic intake and report any unusual bleeding, bruising, or dizziness immediately. Now, we want to hear from you. Did any of these vegetables surprise you? Which ones will you be cutting back on, and which healthy swaps are you excited to try? Share with us your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We love to hear them. Thanks for watching.